Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, we're diving into Fulcrum Therapeutics' latest 10K filing, their annual report. This isn't just any report. It's a roadmap of their past year and a peek into what they're betting on for the future. Are they soaring, or are there hidden potholes ahead? Let's decode it together. First, let's understand what Fulcrum does. They're a biotech company laser-focused on rare, genetically defined diseases. Think of it as finding the specific off switch in our bodies that causes a disease and developing drugs to flip it back on. Their most promising drug right now is called Poscardir, aimed at treating sickle cell disease or SCD. But here's a twist, they're shifting gears. They've decided to really focus on Poscardir for SCD and exploring treatments for inherited anemias like Diamond-Blackfan anemia. This means some other projects might be taking a backseat. It's like deciding which plants to water in your garden. You give the most attention to the ones showing the most promise. One of those taking a backseat? A drug called losmapimod, which was being developed for a muscle disease called facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy, or FSHD. The Phase 3 trial, the last stage before potential approval, didn't give the results they hoped for, so they've stopped developing it for now. It's tough news. Imagine working so hard on something and then having to shelve it. Back to the lead drug Poscardir. They had a clinical hold placed on it by the FDA, but the FDA lifted it last year, which is excellent news. Now they are working on the proper dose for patients. They will conduct a trial with approximately 10 patients at the 12 mg dose level, to be followed by another 10 patients at a slightly higher 20 mg dose level. They expect to have the new data by the end of 2025. Fulcrum isn't going it alone. They have a partnership with Myocardia, a subsidiary of Bristol Myers Squibb, to hunt for targets related to heart muscle diseases. Plus, they have an agreement with Camp 4 Therapeutics for Diamond-Blackfan anemia. This collaboration and other like it give them access to more resources and expertise. Like any good biotech company, Fulcrum's protecting their work with patents. They have a mix of patents and pending applications, especially around Poscardir. This is crucial for keeping competitors at bay and ensuring they can reap the rewards if their drugs succeed. Now, let's get into the tricky parts. One of the biggest challenges for any drug company is the long and expensive process of clinical trials. Fulcrum has a tough task in finding enough patients for the trials, especially since they're focused on rare diseases where the patient pool is, by definition, small. Even if a drug gets approved, there's no guarantee it'll be a blockbuster. Insurers might not cover it, doctors might not prescribe it, or new competitors might emerge. Running a healthcare business means walking a legal tightrope. They have to tread carefully around anti-kickback laws, false claims acts, patient privacy regulations. Any slip-up could lead to big trouble with the government. Fulcrum is a smaller reporting company, which means they get some leeway on certain disclosures, a double-edged sword. It makes things easier for the company, but some investors might not like the lower visibility. Let's talk numbers. As of the end of last year, Fulcrum had about $241 million in cash and investments. They believe this is enough to keep them going into 2027, which sounds good, but it depends on how their trials progress and if they need to make any big investments. For the year, their net loss was around $10 million, a huge improvement from the $97.3 million lost the year prior. Their collaboration with Sanofi brought in a lot more revenue, but here's the thing. Drug development is a cash-intensive business. The key numbers from their operations were the expenses for Poscardir and losmapimod. They are using their cash in part to continue developing Poscardir and study the HBG mRNA results from the Phase 1 trial. Fulcrum's stock price can be volatile and fluctuate substantially due to various factors. The stock price has a large swings based on trial results and developments in their industry, and so the value of the company is very volatile as well. A large number of shares are being offered from time to time by the company, diluting the stock even more. Be warned that large stockholder is exercising shares, which further waters down the stock. Of course, like any modern company, Fulcrum faces cybersecurity risks, especially concerning given the sensitive patient data they handle. They have processes in place, but you can never eliminate the threat entirely. One critical accounting policy that the company uses involves estimating expenses, especially when it comes to research and development. Since they pay based on milestones achieved, the money coming out does not necessarily match how much work has been done at the present time, which adds complexity to their finances. From what the report tells, their management is on top of cybersecurity, which the audit committee has oversight over and regularly keeps the leadership updated. There may be limitations to utilizing tax loss carryforwards if they experience an ownership change. They also face a lawsuit accusing them of making misleading statements about their sickle cell drug. How the lawsuit unfolds is definitely something to watch. So, what's the overall picture? Fulcrum is at a crucial point. The loss of losmapimod is a setback, but their narrowed focus on sickle cell disease and anemia treatments could pay off. The financial situation looks stable for now, but they'll need to be smart with their cash. The biggest opportunities are for them to obtain marketing approvals. The biggest risks include failure to obtain regulatory approval and not adequately protecting intellectual property rights. Here's my take. Fulcrum faces significant challenges, especially regarding intellectual property and regulatory approvals, and given their current financial situation. However, success in sickle cell or anemia could be transformative. This makes them an interesting but a bit speculative company to watch. That's it for this dive into Fulcrum Therapeutics. What do you think about Fulcrum's new direction? Let me know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode of Corporate Decoder.